So I was thinking about the afterlife today, and this isn't going to be one of those videos like, what do Jews think about the afterlife? Because that would take like 8 videos to do. At some point I will, but that's not the point right now. I was listening to talk radio today, which, okay, yeah, scary right-wing stuff, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I was listening to talk radio today, and they were talking about the afterlife, and this radio guy asked this question, which is, if you get married and your wife dies or whatever, and then you get remarried, when you die and you go to the afterlife, let's assume that it's some heaven-ish type of thing, and you're reunited with the people that you love. Will you be reunited with both wives? Will they both be happy that you're there, and how will they share you? Like, will the first wife win out of the second wife, or how will that work? So he was proposing that question. And so the people at the radio station kind of talked about it, and finally they just decided that none of that would matter because you'd be in heaven and your consciousness would be different and all that stuff. But here's an even bigger question. Okay, so God and mysticism and all of that exists outside of temporal time. So you think about in the story of Bereshit in Genesis, the creation of the earth, 6 days the earth is created, 7th day God rests. If you are of the conservative alignment, you would say, okay, well that's true, but what's a day for God? It could be 1,000,000 years, it cocould be 100 million years, whatever. Well, heaven, if there is a heaven, probably operates the same way. It's outside of time. So what that means is if you die, it's not like you have to wait a certain number of days before you get reunited with relatives that are still on earth, right? Because a day in heaven could be like 1,000 years or 1,000,000 years or whatever. So this got me thinking. I don't think that heaven is where you would get reunited with dead people, because in theory, when you die, the second that you enter the afterlife, you wouldn't just be reunited with the people who are already dead, you'd be reunited with people immediately who died after you, because time is sort of irrelevant to that point. Basically, it's like this. If I was to die today, God forbid, let's hope that doesn't happen, but if I was to die today, not only would I see my grandmother, but I would see my nephew's great-great-great-great-grandchildren, because what is time? It's irrelevant. You would already see what's going on. So someone was asking me once, do I ever get any consolation by being a theist, by believing in God, about death and, being reunited with my loved ones? And honestly, it's not something I really think about, because I take a pretty Jewish position on it, which is, this world is what's important, and what you do in this life is more important than what happens afterwards. I can only hope that my future life in the world to come, or whatever, is as good as the life I have now. And I'm working hard to make sure that it is. But I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, this is actually a really unique idea, that when you die, you actually would, in a way, see the future, because everything would come colliding at once. And I kind of like this idea because there's a belief among some that God is just the collection of everything in the universe. It's like God is the single point of the Big Bang, basically, that everything that can exist or will ever exist or does exist, sort of the sum of all of those parts equals God. So I kind of wonder if maybe reality and time and space and all of that together is part of that. So I know this is really weird, far out stuff. I didn't sleep well last night, so I don't know where I'm going with this, but just think about it and talk amongst yourselves.